Hey guys, Julie here again, and we're letting it all hang out for episode number 50. And today we're going to be talking about blogs and authority sites and what they are and how we use them in our business and why they're important and stuff like that. And we're going to cover the basics. We might go into some detail figuring out how to use them and the different basic differences between the two. But I have two shout outs today. Number one is here in the U.S. and abroad, it's Veterans Day or Remembrance Day, or there's other people call them different things around the world. So I want to, first of all, salute every veteran that's been out there, that's worked hard, who has fought and sacrificed for their country and their families and their friends and all that. So my hat's off to you, even though I'm not wearing one, obviously. But a salute to you, hats off to you, and thank you very much for your service. And secondly, I also want to congratulate Mr. Steve Greenhouse on our panel here, who is officially full-time online self-proprietor. So, Steve, how does that feel?
I was saying earlier, it feels normal because I set the goal in January. We all come in and we have this wonderful notion that in 38 seconds we'll be rich and famous. And then when the dust settles and you realise that there's work to do. And I had a chat with Kubazet and we're setting out some parameters to work to and set a date. And the date I set was the 21st of September, and I missed it. But I was a lot closer than I would have been had I never set the date, and I just kept going. And I think I was 50 days over, which in a lifetime of 55 years, and it's not that bad.
No, it's not.
But the way Jay teaches, I've been thinking that I am full-time online and behaving as I am for the last 6 months and just putting the time in and doing what's necessary to get my body to where my head was, if that makes sense. That sounds really kooky, but it doesn't. Because of that, it's not a big shock to the system. Okay. It was sad to say goodbye to some of my friends, but as I was saying before we came live, if they're real friends, I won't lose them. Yeah. If they're just work colleagues and we've only got the job in common, then we probably won't keep in touch. But the genuine ones we will, and that's cool. It's great, and it's just fab.
Congratulations on that, Steve. That's a big milestone, and a point to take from this is that your first goal was September 21st, but it wasn't like, oh, I missed my goal, I'm done. So yeah. A lesson to everyone: if you don't hit your first goal, your milestone, just keep working at it. Keep going, and eventually it'll pan out. And like Steve got it, and now he is a full-time online business owner. So congratulations. That's not an easy task to accomplish. So cheers to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Jill says Jill can't join us today, but she says, hi guys, salute to Vets Day and happy Freedom Day, Steve. Life on your terms.
Yes.
We've got a couple of people joining us today, so I want to say hello to everybody that's joining us today, and thank you very much for being on here with us today. We're happy to host this for you. We have Scott Taylor McCormick here today. Scott Taylor, how are you, sir? We had Scott Taylor McCormick here today. He's out of here. He's gone. Miss Sandra Lemming, how are you today?
I'm really well, Yui. I'm really good. It's a little overcast here today, so it's a little bit cooler, which is fabulous because we have been sitting up in the 30s. Apparently, we're heading to the high 30s on the weekend. Everyone's freaking out and going, ooh, heat wave. But when it hits 42, 43, that's when I'll say, ooh, heat wave.
That's pretty good. And it's hard for me to get that differentiation in my head because I'm thinking 43 degrees, that's freezing cold. But again, different metric, different part of the world, different metric system. So this weekend I had a race, and it started off at 33 degrees Fahrenheit, the race, in the pouring rain. So for you, that would be hot. For me, not so hot. So I just want to clarify. If everybody thought I was complaining because it was too warm, no, it was too cold. So, Mr. Mark Ford, welcome back today. You were on here with us last week, and we appreciate that. Welcome back. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you for inviting me back. I've had a nice day in one way because with the business we do, it's always good to work in a changed environment. So I've got a business partner who I work my properties with, and we went to her house with my laptop, and I was able to work from there so that I could talk to her about property as well as doing the internet business. And so I found that quite a refreshing change than just working all the time from my own home office, and I suppose that's the beauty. It doesn't, you can work out of anybody's house or any place in the world from your laptop. So I've really enjoyed doing that today.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually, yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits of our business model. I was actually working from a coffee shop this morning, doing some stuff, sending out some emails and booking some stuff and setting up some ads. So that is a huge benefit to what we do and how we do it, which is perfect. I also want to say hi to Leslie Lawler. She can't join us today for some family issues, but I want to, if you're around and you're listening, hello to you as well. So, like everybody here said today so far, we're able to do a lot of things from abroad. We don't have to be stuck in an office, or we don't have to be stuck, at home. Specifically, we can be anywhere doing our job, and that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about today, because one of the luxuries and one of the benefits as well is basically doing the things that we do and being able to get our message across and getting our message out there and our marketing material out there, being anywhere in the world as long as we have an internet connection. And today, one of the platforms that we use quite frequently, especially in our business model, is blogs and authority sites in order to get our message across. We could use them to build authority, to just have stories, put our videos out, put our marketing out, put videos out. Whatever we want to do, we want to do on a stable platform where people can come and visit us and know where we are at all times. So they don't have to go to YouTube and Facebook and all these other things. They have one specific place to find us, and that's either our website, our blogs, or our authority site. And today we're going to discuss how we use those and the differences between them and kind of what we do in order to use those to help improve our business a little bit. So, Sandra, you're a big blogger, and everybody on this panel is in my opinion, a professional blogger. I mean, I don't want to say that, I don't know if that term is used at all, but I think we all blog very, very often, and we do a very nice job of it. So let's start with you, Sandra. How have you used your blog and your authority site to become who you are to your audience and in your business?
Okay, well, I have several websites. I call an authority site and a blog site and a website. They're pretty much all the same thing for me, although I have one main site, so I guess you could call that the authority site. But I use all my websites to share my stories and who I am with the people who are going to see those articles. I also write articles that are of value to people that can help them, help solve solutions. And they're also my point of marketing as well. I just find it easier to have a website, whether it be an authority site or a blog site. You know, I personally believe that if you're going to be in business online, you've got to have a site of some description. That is my shop. That's where people come to have a look at what I have to offer. That's where I showcase the products, goods or services that I have for the marketplace. So, and plus people can contact me there. I mean, I know a lot of people say you can market without a website, blog site or authority site. However, quite often around social media, whereas because I am a big blogger, I do write a lot of articles about lots of different things, and I publish them. I do get a lot of comments from people, private questions, saying, oh, how can I do such and such on Facebook now? It's all changed. And I'm like, well, you need a website. That's the best way to market is through a web. I don't have a website. I'm like, well, you better set up a website. It's the best way to market. You'll find it easier to market from your website. Because, a lot of the times social media and different places change their algorithms and stuff, and a lot of it just standard affiliate marketers who have affiliate links to other products, and they're trying to use shortening devices and cloaking tools or the whole affiliate link. They can't market anymore on their Facebook profiles or their social media profiles because of algorithm changes. So a website, or your authority site, whichever you want to call it, or a blog site is a great place where you can have your traffic come on a regular basis, and you can put information on there that helps. That helps a person make a decision on whether or not they want to purchase your goods and services. And that's pretty much why I use them.
That's a great explanation for it. And you also mentioned that you have to have a website in order to, or a blog site or an authority site in order to market your products, and just so somebody knows where you are, just so someone can find you whenever they need to find you, and they're not searching all over the place. But a lot of people find that the one obstacle for them to get to that level where they actually have a website or a blog, there's probably one or two obstacles, but the big one is technology. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to set up a blog. I don't know how to, what platform do I use? That's burdensome, or that's cumbersome for a lot of people who don't understand technology. Scott, what would be your suggestion? Maybe talk a little bit about your blog, how you set it up, and what would be your suggestion if someone came to you and said, well, I just don't know how to do that. I just don't know how to set up a blog or a website. What would you recommend? Can you hear me, Scott? Scott cannot hear us. Okay. Let's move that question. Oh, Scott's out again. So Scott really explained that very well. But we're going to go over to Steve. How about you? How would you answer that question? What would you say to somebody that came to you and said, all right, listen, I would love to do this. I would love to do what Sandra's saying, but I just don't know how to do it. What would be in a minute or two, what would be your best suggestion, recommendation?
Learn.
Perfect.
That sounds very basic, but there's nothing to say. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean you can't know something. And as proof of the pudding, people on this panel, I mean, you, Lee and Scott, you're the youngsters here. You're used to technology. Sandra and Mark, I'm not speaking for you, but speaking personally, I'm used to tools that I shine up with a rag and some diesel because they're big spanners for big lorries. They're tools. And I came to this very ignorant. But you can learn. You can learn. You don't have... I think that the important difference between a blog and an authority site is, think of Oprah Winfrey. She doesn't create content. She doesn't create anything. All she does is interview other exceptional people. But because it's Oprah, we all sit and listen to their questions. And she's the authority. And I think if you have a website where you can interview other people or use other people's content, you will become the authority within your chosen niche. And I think that is a big difference. A blog, and I think it was Ryan Dice who said blogging is dumb. I really disagree, because if you starting from scratch, you have to create content to get your site and to give value to your prospects, and they need to know you. And this isn't answering the question. You should have stopped me because I've wandered off.
I think that you're answering the question quite well. I mean, you answered originally the question was, what would you recommend to somebody that was having difficulties trying to get and learn? And that's absolutely correct. I mean, go out there, YouTube it, figure it out, learn the platforms. WordPress is a platform that's very easy to use, very easy to set up. It's very user-friendly. That's why it's so popular, and it's free. So learn how to use that. I mean, that answered the question. And then going beyond that, where you were talking about how you need somewhere to give value, just like Sandra was saying, her blog and her authority site, that's where people come to see what she offers. And that's where people come. That's her store.
I think it's more than that. I think it's where people come to check you out. And Sandra and I were talking beforehand about being a product of a product. And if you're promoting any product, I personally believe that if you're standing in front of or to one side of a product, you need to be a user of that product, and you need to understand that product. You can be a blind affiliate and just put adverts around, and actually, within part of the model that we're in, you don't actually need a website. You just need to build adverts and landing pages, and you can keep yourself completely out of the equation. But if you're going to build a sustainable business, you need to stand up and you need to allow people to meet you and to see who you are and to check you out.
Yeah, I agree. At your showroom. It's where people come to you and investigate you and research you. And if they've got to go from here to here and look for you every place, they're not going to find. They're not going to get what they're looking for. Like if you see any professional, anybody that is in your industry or any industry that you're familiar with, if you Google a specific name, there's going to be one place that they're going to take you, and that's either their website, their blog, or their authority site. Yeah. And that's just that alone, just having that presence is oftentimes enough for someone to be like, oh, okay, this guy knows enough that he's got this set up, or this person knows enough to have this site set up to where I can find them whenever I need to. I know where to go find them when I need to ask them a question. I know exactly where to go when I need to complain about something, which is probably what you get more of, or I know exactly where to go when I want to compliment or give somebody some feedback. So, yeah, that's perfect. Perfectly said. So, like everybody's been saying, content is extremely important when you're coming to one of these websites, one of these blog sites, or authority sites, and getting content on there it could be any. There's a million varieties of how you can present your content and spread your message and your marketing. Mark, I'm going to go to you for this one. How do you recommend? Give it a little brief, like everybody else is doing, kind of a little bit of brief synopsis of how you're using blogs in your business, but also where do you come up with your content? Where are you getting your information from? Where you're presenting it on your blog or your authority site?
Okay, well, thank you for that. It's so Mark Ford here. Then, well, you've asked me where do I get my content from. It's through sitting down and doing keyword research, but also splitting up into categories. So if we're signed up to some sort of business as an affiliate marketer, what are the keywords that people would search for in relation to that particular business, and to create content around those keywords so that you can provide information to those people in the search engines. If they're searching for a particular phrase in relation to a business that they may be looking to join, if you've got content on your blog that takes up the keywords that's got those keywords in it, it might be that they find your blog post in the search engines, they come through, and you've provided value because you've given information to them about what they were looking for. So you've asked me a couple of questions there. One of them is about how do I come up with the content. So first of all, it's about providing information to people about businesses they're thinking to join, because I know, when I've looked around for information, sometimes it can be sparse, and it's good to give value by helping people with their due diligence when they're doing their research before they go and join a particular business. I think then you have to look at your own story as to where you've been in the past, where you are now, and where you're going. What is your story? How can people relate to that story? How can you actually help them? So you have to think before you start writing any content as to who actually are you? What is your why? And what is it about you that can be attractive to others? In other words, what is your demographic? Who is it that would actually relate to you more than anybody else? So is it baby boomers? Is it people wanting to escape rat race? What is it? And then to work out what sort of content you would provide for that particular demographic. So it's providing content for the demographic, content about any particular home businesses that they may wish to join. But then, as we're all home business entrepreneurs now, Steve's now left the job. I left mine some 8-9 years ago now. What are the keywords? What are people looking for when they sit down in front of Google, Bing, and Yahoo? What are they actually searching for in relation to home business? What are the keywords? Home business ideas, home business opportunities, home business information, home business, loads, hundreds of keywords. What I do to not have to worry about what content I'm going to write, I create all these keyword lists, and I blog to the keyword list because I know then I'm creating content around those keywords, and it's giving people value because I'm giving them information that they're actually sitting down to try and find on Google in the first place or in the other search engines. So I write content every single day of my life actually now. I entered something called a 30-day blogging challenge. I've got a cat on my lap, sorry, go on. I entered a 30-day blogging challenge back in 2012, and I made a commitment that never mind 30 days, I'd blog for life, and it's turned me into a prolific blogger. So I'm not challenged in what I write about each day because I just turn to my keyword lists each day about home business, about the demographic, baby boomers, whatever it might be, information about the businesses that I've joined and what people may be choosing to join, and just reaching out to people like that. If it's all right, visit the issue that Steve was asked about as well, when he said, and people are technically challenged, I don't know how to set up a website, what's a blog, what's an authority site. I think the word that Steve used really summed it up, learn, because we can have all these limiting beliefs, and somebody that just says, I'm technically challenged, I don't know how to do this, they're just allowing the limiting belief inside themselves to not allow them to learn, to actually learn how to do it. None of us on this panel at some point in our lives knew how to blog, knew how to write content on websites. We didn't know how to track people. We have all come from different backgrounds. We now know we have had to learn, and all it is each of us are a bit further down the road to the next person. So somebody who's just starting in the industry, oh, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to do that. Steve summed it up, it's just learn. We went to school, we learned. We went to a job, and when we wanted to be paid at the end of the month, we didn't go to the boss and say, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't know how to do it. We just learned how to do it. But you've got two choices. Yes, you can learn, or you can outsource to people who know how to do it. If you just don't want to write content, you don't want to blog, then if subject to affordability, if you want to put a team around you who likes to write, you can outsource it. But you'll also find on the internet, as we have found, digital marketing systems, business systems that will actually give you the website pre-written. And all you've got to do is press a few buttons and you've got your website set up. So your choices are to learn and write it yourself, which I think is the preferred option, because when you've learned, you're in a position to teach others. So you either learn and do it yourself, outsource it to other people, or find a business on the internet such as the one that we're with, where they'll just give you the websites in the first place. So you just press a few buttons and you'll have your authority site set up. Now, if I can just draw on the difference, if I may, between what we've been talking about between what's a blog and what's a website, just to add value to the conversation we've had so far. I've called up Google here a definition of a blog. A blog is a regularly updated website or web page, typically one that's run by an individual or a small group, that's written in an informal or conversational style. That's very good. If you was to read my blog post today, I've learned more and more and more, and I know Steve does this and others in this panel, to write it in a conversational third-party type of style, so that you're actually speaking to your audience. Now, it's a big, really, a blog and an authority site really go together, because parts of your website aren't blogs. There's only one part of your website that's a blog. And they all stack on top of each other on the blog page, and that's where we go each day to add value and reach out to our website visitors and our subscribers and share. You know, I've mentioned briefly what I share, you know, about businesses, about myself. I'll talk about my story. I'll talk about I'll talk to the demographic, identify what their problems are, and share information about that and offer solutions. And we'll add extra value to our blog posts for our readers every day. But you're going to have other parts of the website that have got an About Me page. You may have a review page, and that's all connected to the authority. Your blog is your authority, but you're giving your authority really also on your home page and sharing your story in your About Me page. The authority on some websites, the blog post and the authority side of it, they're blended together. They work together because you've got pages and blog posts, and so you'll have some of your information on web pages and you'll have other information on the blog post, and you're showing your authority really from what you say on your home page and through being able to share your story about where you've been in the past, where you're now, and where you're going, and how you can help people. And you're going to be sharing your successes to show your authority. Now, there's a big difference between what is purely a website and what is a blog. Because if you think of it, we may go out there and build what's called review sites, or what I term mini sites, and they won't be blogs. They'll just be pages on a website that review a particular business. And of course, when we join as an affiliate marketer other people's businesses to promote their products and services in return for a commission, they give you websites, and sometimes they give you blogs, but if you think about it, they give us landing pages, otherwise known as opt-in pages or squeeze pages, and they'll also give us sales pages that we can promote. They haven't got any blog on it, and they're not authority sites, but they're websites. So we've also got to understand that we have authority sites, blogs, and websites all working together. And I hope that explanation has helped, because if you're somebody who, I don't know how to set up a sales page, I don't know how to set up a landing page, I don't know how to do this, how to do that. By joining business, a lot of this can be taken away, the technology side, and you can just be taught to drive traffic to the authority sites, to the blogs, and to the websites, because I've brought in websites that already have been made for you. You've just got to drive it to your affiliate link, and then you can learn eventually how to do a website. But I do agree it is important to not always spend your life as an affiliate marketer. If you just want to be an affiliate marketer, that's fine. Everybody decides what their business model is. But it's important that people can find you, and you've got to really think about having your own brand and what it is that you want to do for people. So I'm about helping particularly baby boomers improve their income through a home business and digital marketing, and you'll have that on your on your header on your website. So you have a website which is your authority site, which has a blog on it, but some websites won't have blogs on it. I hope
that's the basic breakdown of the way, and that's a great point you made. You brought a bunch of good points. I'm trying to keep notes here. Your website is going to be a static site, a site that pretty much every time you go to it, it has the same stuff. It's got your links, your headers, and your banners, and your pictures and your information. Your blog is going to be a non-static site, which is upgraded as often as you want to upgrade it, daily, with new information, new content, new solutions, like Mark was saying, and stuff like that. And we talked about 3 ways now to create a website or a blog, site, if you don't have any prior experience. Number 1, like everyone's saying, is learn. Just get out there and learn. I mean, we've got programs that teach you how to learn it. I'm sure there's, WordPress has got tutorials that'll teach you how to do it. So it's not that difficult to learn that. We've overcome that obstacle too many times not to just do it this one time. So learn how to do it. The second one is outsource it. Get somebody else to do it. There's Fiverr, there's Guru.com, there's Elance.com, there's people in your own community, people you might even know, your friends, your family, have them set it up for you. That's another way to do it, is outsourcing it, depending on how much you can afford to invest in that area, but sometimes that's the better opportunity because you have more time to do something else. The third one is to plug right into a system like the 6-Figure Mentors and the Digital Experts Academy that already has a plug-and-play blog, website, sales pages, landing pages already set up for you. All you have to do is personalize it. Put your pictures on it, put your links on it, and start feeding it content and putting your content into it. So that's what we all did, and that seems to be how we learned how to do it, or not maybe learned how to do it, but perfected our craft and skills, because we didn't have to concentrate so much on the technical side of it. That was already done for us. All the techie stuff was already done for us. The 6-Figure Mentors presents it in a package that just comes all together. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. And that is also taught to you, which is they teach you how to use it all and put it all together, which is awesome. We talked a little bit about how to create content and what we use to create content. Mark likes to use keywords for content. I know Sandra's got a really cool way that she creates her content, and I'm going to talk to her about it in a second. The one way that I create content, and I try to create 3 to 4 or 5 pieces of content per week, usually videos or written blog, is I use a strategy called ILT, which is invest, learn, and teach. And like how Mark was saying, talk in third person, and Steve was talking about conversation, is I'll take some time, I'll take about an hour at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, and I will listen to a webinar or watch a video from one of my mentors or somebody that I'm paying attention to, somebody in my industry who has some authority. And I'll watch a video, and then I'll learn that, and then I'll teach it in my own words, and I'll put forth what I learned from that information. So if you're thinking that it's hard to come up with content every day, anything you learn that day is content that you can deliver to your audience, because they're looking for that content from you. Regardless if you think you're giving value or not, they're looking for something from you. They're looking for value. That's why they're there. And if you can teach them anything, that will usually get them to come back. So a good way for me to do that is invest, learn, and teach. Go out there, learn something, and then teach it in your own words, how you learned, what you learned, your biggest takeaway, and keep it within your industry and in your niche, and that's going to give you all the value that you need to present to your followers and to your audience.
How can I ask a question? How important would we think that keyword research is in relation to our content? When we do a video, we're speaking, aren't we? Yes, you'll be using keywords in your speech in what you're sharing in your video, but when you're writing, do you not think it's very important to have the keywords within the writing? Because doesn't the internet run on keywords? What do people type in the search boxes? Keywords. How do they find your content? Keywords. Which is why I make sure every blog post has got a keyword in it of some shape or form.
Yeah, keywords are extremely important. I mean, that's, as far as SEO goes, keywords and optimizing your site is, potentially the most important part if that's how you're operating your business. If you're looking for people to find you on Google and stuff like that, then the keywords are going to be probably your best attempt at getting that traffic from there.
But when we all sit down to write our content, if we don't think of the keywords and we just write any phrases, are we going to get picked up more than somebody who thinks about the keywords, writes the content like today has been about increased sales? So if you went to the blog, I've got that in several places in the content. So if you just sit down and no keywords in your head and you're just writing, do you not think you're going to get picked up less than somebody who does that same sort of content but with the appropriate keywords in it?
Can I throw a different slant on that?
Sure.
I think keywords are essential, but I think reputation outweighs it. And I think when you've built a reputation like Ryan Dice, he can produce a page of content without any keywords, but because he's got a following, people will read it.
Yeah,
I think Stuart Ross is the same, Jay Kubaczak's the same. I don't think they sit down with a specific keyword in mind. They just write entertaining educational content. And because of their reputation, their authority, their audience reads. I think...
Yeah, because they've already built up their brand, they've built up their authority, they're going to get a natural following.
Absolutely.
No matter what they put on the site. But then in the earlier days, you're wanting to attract the traffic, and one of the ways through the SEO is through your keywords.
Absolutely. I'm not decrying that.
I will always, because I suppose I've conditioned myself I will always write to keywords. Still,
my only fear with I still use keywords, but I'm really careful because I want to be entertaining first.
Yes.
And I want people to remember the message.
You can still do that.
Yeah.
You can still do that, but still getting the keywords into the content.
Yeah.
Sandra, you use that's great, guys. I appreciate that, because it's true that keywords are important, but also compelling content is equally as important. If you have that natural following and that compelling content and that storytelling, that's what's going to get you the draw there. But like Mark was saying, if you don't have that authority yet and you're looking to be recognized, then keyword research, doing the research on keyword, and then building some content around that specific keyword is how you're going to be ranked on your social media. And there's so many different algorithms now for ranking that some people say SEO isn't necessarily as important anymore as social sharing and social relevance. So there's a lot of different areas of the SEO per se, or how search engines are ranking content now.
Very much.
So yeah, I mean, there's different camps for everything. So I agree with both of you specifically, and I think that there's a whole lot of ways.
I'm not disagreeing with Mark, but I'm
No, I know you're not. There's more than one way to skin a cat, obviously. And I don't want to say that in front of cats because I know there's cats everywhere. Sandra, a couple weeks ago we had talked about something similar to this, and you had mentioned how you do your content. Like you come up with a specific keyword for the week, maybe, or was that you that were talking about that, or for the month, and you specifically blog about that, and you keep that keyword and that research going for the week? Was that you that were saying that?
That was me. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because I look at it this way. As a business online, I have to go through the same process as a business offline. So I'm going to have to look at having to do some advertising. And I think about it, and advertising, whether you do it from an online perspective or an offline perspective, a company doesn't run a TV commercial just once.
No.
They'll generally run it in a specific time slot, every night of the week for probably a month. It'll be the same ad at the same time because, they're making their way into the thoughts and patterns of the viewers at that particular time of day. They've done their research as to when the viewers are going to be on there. And they pay for that time slot. So because of the advertising that I do, I will pick a subject topic. And I mean, I sell aloe vera products, but I also have other things that I do as well in the internet marketing field. But I will pick a specific topic, and if it's relevant and if I can, I will blog about that one topic for the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks or the whole month, depending on how long my marketing campaign is set up for. That way, my ads, I can go in there and I can change the link to the new content blog, which is the same keywords because I'm blogging about the same topic, and change, and I don't even have to change out the picture if I don't want to, and that ad is getting in front of people, but they're getting new content, but it's similar. So if I was blogging about, say, aloe vera juice, I would blog about the benefits of drinking aloe vera juice. I would blog about aloe vera juice for a whole month if that was the product that I wanted to get to the point of sale, and increase the sales on that product. So I'll blog about that for a whole month. One blog might be about the benefits of drinking aloe vera juice. Another one might be, not all aloe vera juices are created the same, created equal. Where does aloe vera juice come from? So for the whole month, I'll blog about that because it's relevant to the marketing campaign that I'm running. And that's how I gather content.
So if someone finds your content, say through whatever search, and they find your ad on G Plus or on Facebook, they click on your ad and they're like, oh, let me research her. When they go back to your authority site, it's congruent. It's got you're talking about the same stuff that you're actually marketing that month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I break it up into micro topics. It makes it easier because people have got, people just aren't used to reading anymore. They've gotten lazy and they don't like, huge long articles. Not in, product wise. I mean, in different industries you'll need longer blogs, but for my industry, my main industry, I keep them short. So I break them up into micro topics. It's just it gives you content for the month to write, and good quality content with similar keywords with each blog really does help your ranking. It just pushes you right up there.
Yeah, and then you can take all those micro blogs that you put out throughout the month, and maybe at the end of the month you can offer a full report which has all those kind of in one PDF, or you could do, you could.
Well, I take them and put them in a newsletter once a month and send them out in a newsletter to
repurpose it. So that's perfect. Cool. Awesome. All right. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them right in that chat box that you're in the webinar room here. Go ahead and ask your questions. So far we've covered some pretty great stuff about why they're important, why blogs, authority sites, and websites are important for your business. They offer your audience and your customers and your friends and your peers and people that are interested in you who are researching you. It offers them a singular place to come and find you. Mm-hmm. That way they know exactly where to come look for you. If they have testimonials for you, if they want to buy something from you, if they have complaints for you, or if they just have a question. So on that blog, you want to give them that opportunity. So you want to have contact page. You want to have places where they can add information. They can do comments. They can do, and then where you can contact you by email or Skype or Facebook, or make sure that they have ways to contact you through that source. Another thing we talked about is why we use them. We use them to build our authority. We use them to build our brand. We use them to offer value to our audience, to give them information, to teach them new things, and to be able to accept that information that they're given to us in return. And then we also talked about 3 ways to absolutely get your blog up and running if that's what you want to do. And we highly recommend that you do that if you're looking to continue on and build a sustaining business. Learn how to do it yourself. Go out there and do the research, plug it in, do what you got to do, and just get out there, find the platform that's best suited for you, and then use it. Number 2 is outsource it. Find a friend, family member who wants to do it, or go, research online on who could do it for you. Find somebody in your upline or your downline if you're in some sort of business who will help you do it. Maybe give them maybe do a swap, give them something in return for what you're doing. Maybe you're better at writing and they're better at technology, so maybe do some swapping back and forth and some trading off. And number 3 is just find a company or a business model like the 6-Figure Mentors that you could just plug into and get it done for you. So the website's already built for you, the landing pages are already built for you, the blogs are pretty much already built for you, all you have to do is personalize them. So there are 3 options, and I'm sure there's many more. But those are the 3 options we covered. And then we also covered on content, how to create your content. And we talked about keywords, we talked about congruent content, we talked about having compelling content, like Steve was saying. We talked about how you can get that content through just teaching people, talking to them in conversation, like you're talking one-on-one to one specific person as you would in person. The best thing about blogs is you don't have to worry about grammar, punctuation. A lot of times spelling doesn't even matter because people are like, whatever. I've never had my spelling corrected on a blog. So it's just conversation that you have back and forth. So those are a couple of things that we covered on this, and this has been extremely informative, and I've learned a couple of things, and everybody here is extremely knowledgeable at what they do. So if you have any questions for anyone on this panel, feel free to reach out to them. There's a banner on this page. There's a banner on this in this webinar room where you can contact any one of us independently. So feel free to do that. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through. We're getting close to that hour time where we'd like to keep these on because we respect your time, obviously. So we're going to go back through and see if anybody has any last thoughts on what we talked about. Steve, you want to kick it off?
Thanks. I go back to the point. Yes, you can learn. Anybody can start an internet business, but if you want to make a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income, you can start dumb, but you've got to learn. You can't build a website. You can outsource, but if you're going to outsource, you still have to understand the process to make sure the people that you're paying your hard-earned money to are doing the job properly.
Great point. Great point.
The old point about a fool and his money being easily separated is very, very true, especially in this environment, none more so. You need to learn. And again, you will only want to learn, or why you want to do something. If you've got a big enough reason, you will find out how. You always will. And be it blogging, be it content creation, whatever, you can. The information is there. There's YouTube, there's Google, there's business systems. The 6-Figure Man teaches you everything you need to know. about all aspects of online marketing, including content creation and authority sites. But the information is very specific to our business model, but it can be applied in other areas. And I think it's second to none. I don't think it's better trained, and it's accurate, and it's holistic. And that's all I've got to say about that.
That's perfect. Well, thank you for that, Steve. And again, congratulations on your latest endeavor, being full-time online business owner. So anybody that's watching this and doesn't think that it's possible to build a full-time online business by starting and scaling, starting small and then scaling up, everybody on this panel is pretty much proof pudding. The proof is in the pudding, is that right?
Yeah.
Pretty much proof that that's doable, that it is a feasible business model.
I'm a truck driver, so what's your excuse?
I'm sorry?
I'm a truck driver, so what's your excuse?
Yeah, right. If a truck driver can do it, anyone can do it.
Absolutely.
I'm just kidding. Sandra, you got any last words, last tips? Anything to wrap it up?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming and congratulate Steve. And last words, well, I'm a member of the Six Figure Mentors, like all of our panelists here. The Six Figure Mentors is a business system with a business community with people from all walks of life, from all industries, and we have the tools, training that can get you started, get you up and running, and show you the best way to bring your business online and how to market your business online. As for websites, learning about websites, we have the tools to help you with that as well. We've got the Digital Business Lounge, where you can learn, you can buy a domain, you can host your website, and we also have the video content in there to help you build your website if you want to build your own website. If you don't want to use a business system, that's fine. We have what's called the Digital Business Lounge, and there are many options out there. But really, you have authority sites, websites, blog sites. You'll need one of them if you want to market properly and effectively and engage visitors to what you have to offer.
Awesome. Perfect. And you're right, and that's a big word, is engagement. A lot of people just use their Facebook platforms and Facebook pages and fan pages to engage. But your blog and your authority site is an excellent place to engage your visitors, because they're specific. They didn't just happen upon you. They're specifically coming for your value, and if you can engage with them while they're there, the possibilities are endless on that visitor going from being just a curious visitor to a customer in a very short period of time, based on the fact that they came to see you, and that's exactly what they got. So that's a great word, engagement. I love the word engagement. And it's a very important piece of the puzzle. It's making sure that you engage with your audience, not just have them engaging with you. So thanks for that, Sandra. Mr. Mark Ford, any last words before we wrap this up on what you thought about while we were here and kind of put it all together?
Well, I think anybody coming into the internet marketing, work from home business industry, setting up websites and blogs, we got two choices. A lot of us will start out to learn about all this as an affiliate marketers, and so those that are challenged with the technology and not wanting to set up websites, they can just learn initially, if they want to, and I do use the words if they want to just drive traffic to their affiliate pages. But so I think you've got a choice. If you don't want to get involved in writing content, you don't want to put a website up initially, you can just learn traffic generation strategies and just drive traffic to earn commissions. And then if further down the line you want to develop your own brand, you want to develop your own content, you want to get yourself out there, you don't want to sit behind the company just driving traffic, but you want to put yourself out there, then you may then at that point be putting out your websites. But you've got to make a decision at the start whether you put yourself out there straight away or whether you just drive traffic. So I'm trying to make a point there, a tip that you can do either way. You can do one or the other or both. Now, I don't think myself there's any better way really than getting your message across through the written word or through your videos, and just being open and sharing your story and attracting people to, when you share your story, you're able to share with people the challenges you've had in your life and how you've come through and how you've solved them and how you've got to where you are now. And with experience behind us like that, there's a lot of people that can relate to that, and you can show them through writing and your blogs and everything how you may be able to help them. I just think blogging's a great way to get your message across, and working, blogging and doing websites in conjunction with paid marketing is a really good thing to do. Some people don't want to do it. I'm just trying to say that it's personal choice.
Yeah, that's perfect. And you're right that your message and your blog is a perfect way to connect with your avatar, with people that are coming to see you, because a lot of people might just go right through and click away, but the people that if you can connect with somebody on an emotional or personal or experiential way, that they will stick around and they will become a customer, because people buy from people. People don't buy products from companies. They buy stuff from people. And if that person can learn to learn, like, and trust you through your content, then that person is going to be a lifetime customer, because they're buying from you because of how they feel about you. They're not buying from you because, oh, he's got a great, look at this magic fruit that he's selling. They're buying from you because they trust you, and then you can continue to do that. So we've got a question here from Jill. Jill says, daily blogging is a good way of keeping your content fresh and up to date. Do you think it's vital to blog about up-to-the-minute trends? I find that even on Facebook there's things coming around that are trends, like things that are trending, and if that's something that you can find on different on different different searches, if you find what's trending, and that's one for Mark too, it's probably a very good keyword specific. If someone's specifically looking for something that day, and it's congruent with your niche, that's probably a good way to kick off some content, isn't that, Mark? What do you think about that?
You've just taken the words from my mouth. You've just used the words congruent with your niche. If whatever's been trended about is relevant to what you are, you've got to know when you're writing your content who you are, and it can take a long time to even know that when you're starting out. But when you find, oh, I've arrived, this is who I am, this is how I can help people, you've got to keep your content relevant to that. So if something's trendy at the time and it's relevant to who you are, it's relevant to your niche, and it's congruent to what you do, then yeah, write a blog post about it. Yes. So yesterday, somebody shared with me a video about a 14-year-old lad who is an excellent programmer and couldn't bear to go to school. He's got a mind of an adult, and he's been hired by all these companies to do their programming. Now, for me, that was inspirational and showing that you can do anything you want to, really. So I shared that from an inspirational point of view. So if something's hot and relevant, and it's got some connection to who you are and why you're doing things, then share it. Yes. Perfect.
Great question, Jill. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for that. Yeah, and does anybody else have anything they want to add to that? Okay. Yeah, I mean, and plus, even if something is trending and you don't find it's exactly congruent with your niche and your authority, there's definitely ways. Like today's Veterans Day here in the U.S. and Remembrance Day around the world. I wrote a blog post, and my niche isn't necessarily about veterans, but I was able to tie Veterans Day and veterans and everything into a post regarding content, and that's getting a lot of hits today. That's actually getting a lot of feedback today, and it's getting a lot of interaction engagement because of what's trending today. So yeah, so that's a popular search term today, and because of that, and I'm not taking advantage of that, I'm offering value with that message and that I guess that trend in
relevancy, yes.
Yeah. So you can turn anything into, if it's close enough, you can get anything that's trending relevant to your niche. So, does anybody have anything else? Anybody have any other questions? Great question, Jill. I appreciate that. Hope your throat feels better. Okay, guys, I appreciate it. We're coming to that time where we're going to take off. Again, I want to say Happy Veterans Day, Happy Remembrance Day to all the veterans out there in the world. Without what you do for us, none of this is possible. So I appreciate that very much. And Steve, congratulations again. Your you're a beacon of hope for many people, and that's extraordinarily important for everybody to realize. Mark, thank you again for joining us today. Some incredible value today. Sandra, thank you again for joining us today. Scott, sorry we lost you. Jill, hope you feel better. Leslie, I hope everything works out for you. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again, and let's hang out next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.